Okay,
serious question.
I don't know if this is a debate or not, but if it is not, I think it should be. Ryan Reynolds or Ryan Gosling?
Dang it, I knew you were going to say that, and I can't decide.
You can't? I know hands down who I pick, but I want you to go first.
I'm probably going to lean towards the funny one.
Same.
Which one's the funny one?
Touche.
Ryan Reynolds.
Oh my gosh, I think Gosling is hilarious.
He can be, but I feel like he's more serious most of the time.
He's dry humor, but I also am freaking in love with Jason Bateman, so
Oh,
I
right.
like
Right.
that humor.
Yes.
Yes.
Me
Okay.
too. But he's not the most attractive physically. Ryan Reynolds is not to me. Physically,
Okay.
Ryan Gosling.
Okay.
So
So physically, Jamie's on looks. You?
It's hard because I would have to go by, like, movie.
okay.
What movie?
Oh, gosh, I don't even know.
Drive, freaking great
Oh,
movie.
so good.
Had the
So
best
good.
soundtrack.
Yes.
Touche.
You've seen it too?
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
And the only movie I
sometimes
can
people don't
think
know
of-
about that
Sure, sure.
movie.
Ryan
That's
being
true.
Ryan Reynolds. But also, have y'all ever seen Deadpool?
Yes.
I'm not a big, but just not at all a fan of like comics or Marvel or whatever.
Yeah.
But that movie is so freaking funny.
I don't know that I have seen it recent enough to
And he's really
that.
ugly in that.
right. Yeah.
But they are both kind of funny now that I'm picturing things.
I just saw Fall Guy.
Oh, is that good?
yeah.
I wanna
He's
see
funny in
it.
that, right?
And he's freaking ripped as hell.
Hell
but
yeah.
I've
And
always
he's funny in Barbie.
Barbie's so good.
I never thought he was that attractive either. Not like, like even Notebook era. I never thought he was that
The
attractive.
lazy eye.
Does he?
I don't know.
I know.
something
No.
going on. Yes, like one eye
Stop
kind of
talking
goes
about
off.
my man. Stop. But then he has a band. Did you know this?
Oh, yeah. I have one of his songs.
Yes.
Oh, like a real band.
Yes.
Doing real things.
Before, I think it was probably in the midst of him becoming really big. But
Probably like right after The Notebook.
probably.
Yeah.
It's
Interesting.
called Dead Man's Bones.
Yeah.
He has a very old-timey voice.
Okay.
I like it a lot.
It's very unique.
I think you need to calm
It's
down.
definitely,
I'm blushing.
but it's definitely one of those voices that you either hate or you like.
Yes.
Like Joanna Newsom.
I know.
Or Bjork.
Yeah. I'm still not a fan of Joanna Newsom.
Nobody-
Do you?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't.
She's a horrible singer. I mean,
The fact that you can say that. Is
I know it is.
Yeah.
Because there are times
So
whenever
is
I'm
it-
listening to it and I'm like, oh.
So is it just like, not like lyrically, the way like what she songwrites?
What she writes makes me cry. Yes. Like I could cry at the drop of a hat for over any lyric that she writes. And they're written like stories. Like some of her songs are like 9 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
She's a harpist.
Oh wow.
And she sings. So it becomes like a story that you're listening to. And some of her songs are so heartbreaking and some of them aren't, but they're like.
Sorry guys, I can't get my mic right.
I love this story.
I feel like I had the same problem last time.
That's the problem. I sat in the wrong seat.
So, what'd y'all think about Alexis and Linsey?
Hold on, we never came to a conclusion.
Oh.
Were we supposed to?
Oh, the Ryans.
I mean, I don't think that people
Debate about it enough?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I wonder if they've ever talked about it to each other.
I wonder.
I would like to know that.
Yeah.
I would like to think that they have.
I bet you Ryan Gosling would humbly be like, "You can have it, man."
Oh, yeah. For
sweet
sure.
boy. Sweet
He doesn't
boy.
want to be anybody's dream boat.
No.
Did y'all know, though, that Ryan Reynolds owns part of a soccer team or English football team?
Football.
Did
y'all know that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That does help on my scorecard. That does help.
That he owns these things?
Yeah.
The only reason why I know that, though, is because Rob McElhenney, the guy that he owns I
Is
know.
that in?
It's Always Sunny.
Yes.
That's okay. So I'm a
Okay.
huge fan of that show, and
Okay.
I follow. I think it's just a fan page on Instagram.
I'm
and
going to need to follow this.
There was like
I don't follow anything, but I want to follow that.
There was an announcement a long time ago that they made together that they were buying this team.
Huh.
And so they own a team together.
Amazing.
Yeah.
They've probably talked about the other Ryan together.
You think?
I think so.
You think
Probably.
that Ryan...
I think they talk about each other all the time.
Do you think Ryan Gosling is on Ryan Reynolds' radar? Because I feel like most people are Reynolds. Therefore, I feel very unique in my choice.
Even after
Yes.
Barbie?
I love Barbie.
Right?
I love it.
Right?
I'm probably the only woman who cried for Ken.
I did feel real bad for him.
I hate to admit this, but I fell asleep during it.
What?
Oh, no.
And I was so mad. And it was during all the funny Ken parts, like when they were doing their dance. You know, their little dance sequence.
But do you
I
think...
fell asleep during that part.
Is that our
Needed
age?
a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do y'all think of my gray hair?
I love
need a
it
nap.
so much. Look, mine is growing out too, only because I had to wait 2 months to get my hair colored. But I'm not as mad about it as I usually am.
My 80-year-old grandma just came to my house, and I'm like, this is stupid that I have all this gray hair, and
is
she
your
barely
fault.
has any.
Why?
That's
It's
interesting.
Jordan, she's always happy. Just
Oh, yeah.
lives a
Jordan's-
really happy, stress-free life, and I
So you got stress hair.
think so, maybe.
I don't know. My mom went almost fully gray in
She
her late
gray or
30s.
white?
It was
She's got-
gray.
Okay.
Now she's white.
Yeah.
But it was like her late 30s. She went,
Hormones,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Segue.
Good job. Yeah.
I like it. Go. Okay, so here is Alexis Wright, nurse practitioner, and Linsey Beggs, elementary school teacher. So I don't want to make this about, it's more about the community and having fun and everything, but I think your job is very interesting.
My job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't you deal with hormones and
yeah.
like holistic stuff?
Everything.
I
Yeah.
need to know
Whole
more
thing.
about this.
Whole thing, yeah. So I'm a nurse practitioner.
Okay.
And I have transitioned in the last year and a half to functional medicine, which is great. And I've, been learning a ton. I mean, definitely by no means at expert level, but I've been in primary care, meaning like just like your regular old primary care provider, for a long time, and which is great, and I love it. I mean, I've always had patients from all the way from newborn to, like 99, which is great. And obviously a whole bunch of different things go on throughout the lifespan. What I love about it and what I have always loved about it is that I would, I'll see great grandparents, even potentially great grandparents, all the way down to, the little babies in the family, and where you can kind of see, like, sometimes I literally have requested, like, okay, I need a family tree. How do all of this connect? And prior to this, I was in, more of a rural setting, and so we really saw a lot of families and, generations and all of that, which was great. The difference being when you talk about, just traditional, kind of medicine, or what they call allopathic, it's come in, get a history, get a diagnosis, here's a prescription kind of thing, you know what I mean? Or here's a plan. So the difference between that and what I'm doing now is, I would say not a huge difference when you look at like an actual nursing model. So, and I love being a nurse practitioner because I come from more of a nursing model than a traditional medicine model. Traditional medicine is very symptom based and very, disease based, you know what I mean? Fix the disease, fix the problem, you know what I mean? And usually through some sort of medicine. And nursing theory is a little bit more holistic in general, just already, and just in and of itself. It's, okay, you have this going on. What does your home life look like? Are you in a safe environment? Do you have access to clean water? Do you have, and not that medicine doesn't look at that, it's just that it tends to be a little bit more like algorithm,
Right.
And with nursing, you really do kind of look at, okay, what does the whole situation look like here? And so when you talk about things like hormones, I think it's interesting because, I have probably from where I'm at in life, but also it's just interesting. I do have a large part of my practice is women going through perimenopause and
Yeah.
menopause and, just kind of that hormone shift. And I have younger women too that are cycling and all of that, like still having kind of hormone imbalances. And, but, libido comes up a lot.
Yeah.
And it is interesting when you kind of backtrack that a little bit, because if someone comes in saying, hey, my libido is dropped, like I just don't have it, I just kind of want to go, and this seems like a duh when you say it, but okay, well, do you like your partner?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they nice to you?
Yeah.
Do you are you in a safe relationship?
Yeah.
And it's shocking how often the answer is no to
That's
all of those
amazing.
questions.
I would have never even thought.
And so, and you really kind of go, okay, well, maybe the reason that you don't want to have sex with your husband is because, or wife or whatever, is because they are not supportive of you in your life. You're doing XYZ for kids, you're working all day, you're doing all of this. And a lot of women who are going through, changes with perimenopause and menopause, they're also becoming caregivers to their parents. So there's a whole lot of pull, and if basically you're, working all day, dealing with your kids, then helping your parents, you're coming home, you're making dinner, you're getting everybody situated in that situation, and then somebody's just like, all right, have sex with me now. They're like, I'm exhausted.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And even younger women, who they're touched out. You know what I mean? Someone has been touching them all day long. They have little kids, or they're breastfeeding, or they've got all of these things going on. Someone has been touching them or needing from them all day long. And if those partners are not pouring into them, then it becomes a huge issue. And it's, I deal with men's hormones a lot too. And I think it's similar to that as well. If they're like, my libido's dropped, I'm having, erectile issues, whatever it is. And it's like, okay, same thing for men. Like, do you feel supported by your partner? Do you like them? What have y'all done recently to, connect? Yeah, exactly. All of those things. So it definitely becomes a bigger issue. And that is sort of back to sort of what I like about functional medicine, is that we really are able to spend a lot of time getting into those backgrounds. And, there's a gazillion podcasts, I'm sure, about this, but, really looking at, kind of timelines, when was the last time that you felt good? When was the last time, and going all the way back even to when that person was in the womb, what was the prenatal care like? Did your mom get prenatal care? Did they smoke? Did they do drugs? Were you, safe as an infant? Like all of these things that are so, there's so many root causes to issues that may not even surface until a lot later in life. And so it's almost like a little bit like being a detective. You really kind of have to dig deep, and you have to be able to have time to do that.
Yeah.
And so I'm fortunate in where I'm at now, the practice that I'm at now allows for that. And I, in like traditional medicine, traditional primary care, those, people feel like, well, I just don't feel listened to, or I feel like, I'm just herded through like cattle, 'cause you are. It's like for you, Linsey, if you have 30 kids in your classroom versus, 15 in your classroom, how are you going to be able to be a better teacher?
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of the difference in the models there, I would say.
I love that.
Yeah. That may have been a very long answer to the
needed
question.
all that.
So speaking of
great.
menopause, we just talked, Tanner and I just talked about this at lunch. I was like, I feel a push, like I feel like a new season is coming in our lives together. And he was like, well, okay, and I was like, and I just really feel like he was like, what is it? And I was like, I think we're just getting old, and I was like, I think I might be starting to go through early menopause. He was like, what? He thought I was going to be like,
he's like, what is that?
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah. And he was like, anything else? We thought I was going to be very positive, I guess. But I am. I'm excited about it. I don't know why.
I think that is a really good way to kind of move into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it is inevitable, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had a patient not that long ago. She was in her 60s, and she was telling me she wanted to do hormone replacement, and she wanted to do, basically like mimicking, right? And there's kind of there's a move, a theory about this. that I'm not going to get into because I'm not very familiar with it. But basically, she wanted to restart her period
At 60?
60s. In her 60s.
Is that possible?
Well, yeah, but like not healthy on any. And I just looked. I was like, she's like, well, I just want to be a normal woman. Normal women cycle. And I go, normal 60-year-old women do not cycle. Like that is not. That's not a thing. And so we had a conversation about it that was interesting. But I think it's when you kind of go, okay, what is a normal woman? You know, and is that true? Do you have to have a period to be a normal woman? No, 100% no. Obviously, most women have hysterectomies all the time, and go through different phases of life for whatever reason, and so no. But it was just an interesting concept where I was kind of like, okay, normal woman, that's interesting. And I think there is sort of that fear of for a lot of women of will I still not that anybody necessarily is just like, oh my gosh, I love having periods so much.
Yeah,
right.
That's great.
But
So fun.
But I think on the other side of that, and because such a big chunk of our life we are transitioning, you said early menopause, and really it's like perimenopause starts around age 35.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting, and I think too, girls are getting going through puberty so much earlier. You've got 9 and 10-year-olds kind of, doing that. And
that's my age group, and every year I have
you
at
have
least
a couple,
10.
right? 10?
Yeah. I mean, I have multiple sections, so yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
That's like 10%,
Yeah. And so, you basically go through this huge chunk of your life where, your hormones are a huge thing. And you have, for most of, so if you're getting your period at 10 or 11 years old, and, you really don't, most women are not wanting to get pregnant before, age, 25, maybe a little earlier in some cases, but, so you're trying to prevent that for a huge chunk of time. And then you're trying to not prevent it for a chunk of time that's actually relatively small.
Yeah.
In culturally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, culturally in our society, like you've got kind of a window there of 10 maybe 15 years where you're gonna maybe 20 for on the outliers, where you're trying to get pregnant, and if that's something that you want to do in your life, and then you've got a lot more life to live where you're trying to manage it, or where you're not fertile at all. And we just don't give a whole lot we haven't in the past given that a whole lot of attention.
I just hate taking a pill every day too. Like I hate taking birth control. I'm like, I'm taking it for almost 30 years. Like
really?
A pill every day. Not 30. Oh yeah, almost.
So not
I know. Let's get into that.
I like not to get too personal.
When did I start? I gotta think. I'm not a math teacher, so.
But is that simply for birth control? Like you're just doing that for birth control?
Yes.
And you don't want to have any more kids?
No.
So
I can't.
What is the like? Why not do something more permanent, like a vasectomy?
We've talked about it.
Okay, well, I'm calling Tanner out now.
Yeah.
We do vasectomies at my office.
He would. I think just the question of insurance and how all that works.
Well, it's like,
I mean,
I think our cash pay price is like $750.
Yeah.
So
that's good to know.
Yeah.
And recovery time, like just knowledge about it. I think. I said I don't think it's a. Well, it's like I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's like a day surgery, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
He definitely would.
I wish next time y'all. Never mind. I can't.
Why?
It's not Jordan's story, but I just heard the funniest vasectomy story ever.
It probably happened at our office.
Nope. It absolutely did not.
We're doing all the firefighters right now.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Not me. But
That's amazing. No, Jordan, so all I had to say when we were done having kids, I said, hey, I can get my tubes tied, but it will make me more hormonal. I will be more up and down. And he's like, I'll do it.
He was like, I'm all
yes, I will do it for you. I'll take one for the team. Yeah. And it was great. It was like really a fast day surgery. And it was so funny because he's very sensitive to, like a Tylenol can knock the kid out. And me, I'm like, give me 6. I can't. I don't feel anything. But anyway, I knew he would have really eerie moments whenever he was done with that, and of course he did, but it was pretty funny how
loopy?
Yeah, he was loopy, but the way the nurse came out and brought him to me and was kind of laughing a little bit. I was like, yeah, I know.
he's pretty drunk.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell him because we've talked about it multiple times. So just follow through. I think that's even with like creativity stuff. Just follow through. Like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like it. I don't know. It's just stupid, but
that would be. I mean, that would get you off of birth control.
I would love that. I hate taking it.
That's a long time to be on birth control. I wasn't even on birth control whenever I started gaining weight within the first few months, and I was like, nope.
I'm out of this.
Yep.
This is not for me.
I got it I went the month of our wedding, for my first checkup, and got put on it.
Yeah.
Right before. I don't think it worked, but
Yeah.
But it has since.
since. But yeah, because we got home and like 2 weeks later I was pregnant. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so since I was 22.
Yeah.
Because we got married when I was 22.
That's a long time. Do you feel like you're pretty consistent in your emotions?
Not at first. I think it took a really long time.
As a human now.
Okay, you seem pretty chill.
You do.
I think. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, do you have very many highs and lows?
I don't think so. I think I'm pretty much the same.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know.
I am like, one day I will be like, today's beautiful. Everything's great and wonderful. And the next day I'm like, I'm moving and none of y'all can come with me. Like all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
I think my...
Hold on, Alexis wants to diagnose me.
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Go on. What were you going to say?
I would say the only thing I feel like I consistently probably have to like put in check is like worry.
Yeah.
Worry's like the probably the biggest one for me. And I can just zone out and worry. Like I don't know.
And your spirituality, I mean, that's got to help you.
I hope. I mean, I think it does.
Yeah, you're one of the most consistent.
Why do I continue to struggle with the same exact thing all the time? I hate it.
Yeah.
It's like, that would be the only thing I think I feel like always is something I just have to like put it in check.
Right. Yeah.
Or try to.
Yeah. No, I think same. And I think it's one of those things that, like, I don't know if you do this, but I'll wake up at like 2:00 in the morning and be worrying about something. And I'm like, this literally has, like, then I get into my like rational brain and I'm like, this has nothing to do with anything. There's nothing you can do about it right now.
And worrying won't change it.
No,
like,
just go back to sleep and figure. And then you wake up the next day and you're like, oh, why was I worried about that? That was dumb.
And then I'm pissed because I lost like an hour.
Yes.
I'm like, oh
man, I wish I could sleep like that. I can't. I like think of songs in my sleep. I'm doing projects in my sleep. Like if I get any sleep, I'm like, oh, it was a good night.
Very busy brain.
Yes, I do.
Which is awesome.
ADHD? Yes.
Which is awesome. She's, all the projects she has going.
I was telling people the other night, them, okay, I've got my friend that will tell me I'm amazing and wonderful and everything is like beautiful about me, and then I've got my friend that tells me you suck right now. I
didn't say you suck.
I love it. No, I didn't take it that way at all. Like I love that, and I was talking about it last night. How Jordan will not criticize me whatsoever, and so I do think he's being a smart man in doing that, but I'm like, can you please help me figure out where I can work on myself and like be a better person? Like,
go
ahead.
Like, should I say that?
Yeah, go.
Or you were like, we were hanging out and I got home and I had a gigantic hair hanging out my chin and no one told me. Like, and I was like, I didn't notice it. I would have told you.
My daughter, she's like, whoa, what's that?
Yeah, leave it to the kid.
I know. Like, oh, I didn't see it. I really would have said something.
That's funny. Yeah.
Don't you feel like though with you saying you kind of have these high highs and these lower lows, but I mean, that just sounds like an artist.
Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
right?
I thought you were going to say bipolar.
No.
I like the artist
No,
better.
like an artist.
No,
but,
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you kind of ride those waves and infuse it in your art.
Yeah.
Maybe
definitely.
I'm romanticizing that, but
Yeah.
that's what it seems like.
No,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to lean into that one.
Lean into that.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Yep.
Lately I've been having to be around people a lot more, and it's so weird how I feel like I'm this extrovert, and then I get around a lot of people and I'm like, wait a minute, where's my closet?
Yeah.
I need to go hide in the closet for a
So
little
you feel
bit.
like you kind of need those moments to
Yeah.
recharge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because my dad is an extreme extrovert. My mom,
Your dad is an extrovert.
yes, my
I
mom,
don't even know your dad, and I know he's an extrovert.
yeah. My mom doesn't. She barely likes people.
Yeah.
Like, she has her animals and she loves her grandkids so much, and I know she loves me, but she's way introverted. So growing up, that was weird to navigate. Like, I want to be the friendly person who talks to everybody at the grocery store or whatever, but then also, please don't look at me, you know? But and then what about Kevin?
Is Kevin an extrovert?
He is an extrovert, right? Okay, so we were walking the other day, and he was talking to this man, and he was doing yard work. And I was like, hey, Kevin. And he's like, hold on, we'll come with you.
He just takes off and walks with you.
He's like, hold on, I'll go get Alexis.
Oh, yeah. That's what he said. And he's like, hey, come on. And I was like, okay.
Does he have introverted moments?
No.
Or, okay,
He
so
really
he's
does
solid.
not. I mean,
yeah.
like, he would probably be like, yes, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely has moments where he is, people probably should not talk to him, you
Yeah.
know? So, yeah, I guess I wouldn't call him introverted, though. I would call him just moodier.
Right.
You know, moodier moments.
Uh-huh.
I think everybody's probably a mix of introvert, extrovert. Right? What about Zion?
I think he's both, but he's pretty introvert. Like, he likes to be. I think our family as a whole is pretty naturally introvert.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel the need, like, when I'm around people to, like, I really want them to feel loved and, like, I'm interested, you know, like, I'm there and listening, you know, but as soon as we're not in public, or I'm like, oh, I'm just ready to go home and read or play
You
music.
got to recharge.
Yeah.
Well, especially with your job. I mean,
Yeah.
you're constantly talking all day long.
Yeah.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, you're constantly being asked questions and answering questions, and
Yeah.
like, you have to be so engaged.
I know we did a training one time, and it was like, on average, an elementary teacher is asked, and I can't even remember the amount of questions that she said. And she was like, so it makes sense that when you go home, you're like, I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Don't ask me a question.
I got
don't
in
wanna make a decision.
in the habit of, like, when I would get home, I would just go straight to, like, take a bath, just to chill for like 30 minutes.
Recharge.
Yeah. And then I would be like, all right, how are y'all? How was your day? But sometimes, like, it just feels like you just don't have anything in your head anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
No, I totally get it, because I get, my whole day is
yeah.
making decisions and making, answering questions, asking questions, and I get it. When you get home and you're like, I'm kind of fried,
Yeah.
I
I would say the last, like, five years, I haven't felt like that really
Yeah.
as much at all. Like, the very like, going back from summer, the very first, like, month, it, like, oh yeah, I forgot how to do this.
Yeah.
But I feel like God has shown me how to, like, just not put so much on that. And so, I mean, I love my job. And
Yeah.
so when I come home, I'm like, meh.
I think that does make a big difference, because I would say, like, where I'm at now, I definitely feel more, I don't feel as just depleted.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a good give and take. And also, I think, it's fulfilling,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I don't feel drained because it is fulfilling. I can feel tired.
Yeah.
I can feel like I don't want to make another decision right now.
Yeah.
But I fortunately have a very good partner who will, makes dinner and does the
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
and all of that, which is awesome.
Mine too. That's good.
But yeah, I do think it makes a big difference, because when you're kind of hating how you're having to do your job, even if it's not your job itself, but if you're hating just the, if it's overwhelming or, it's too much,
Yeah.
then you do feel like, and you feel like you're not doing a good job because you are so stretched.
Yeah.
Then that can get very draining.
And I think it's a lot of just perspective shift too sometimes.
True.
Like, because I'm not doing anything different, like nothing's really changed other than I feel like I had to make a decision to just not be that way, and enjoy my family more and make it well, and also set expectations. Like, I'm not going to stay at school till 8.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
So
Was that something that you were able to tell your school? Like, I'm not going to stay this long?
well, I mean,
'Cause you
no
were
one
doing
knew.
it- Yeah, you
No
were
one was
doing
making
it
you do
because
it.
you thought you
I was
had
like
to, right?
overdoing just stupid stuff. Like, this font has to be. It's just
Yeah.
stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And overdoing work that just to try to make it better. I don't know. That didn't really even matter. So no one knew that I was staying that long all the time. But now, in the last, like I said, probably 5 years, I just made a goal of I'm going to try to leave work before 5. Like, I'm not going to stay past
Brilliant.
that time. And
Yeah.
it's like, you got to set yourself boundaries, or I had to. I don't know if
Yeah.
everybody needs to.
Which
but-
I think is a little bit easier when you have a set hours, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, when you're
Do you have set hours?
Yeah.
You do?
And so it's like, okay, here I'm on, here I'm off. I mean, there may be some overlap or if I'm on call or whatever,
Yeah.
but I don't know how you do that as an
Yeah.
artist.
Yeah.
No, it's hard. I think that's one of the things that people assume about me is that I'm up here from 9 to 5. And so a lot of people kind of, they're like, oh, I'll be there at this time. And then they're here an hour later than they said. I think they think I just hang out
That
up
you just
here
live up
and
here?
just paint.
This
And
is all you do?
Yeah. And I really don't. I really, if I get in the mood to where I do want to paint something, it tends to stay for a few weeks and then I put everything up and I'm on to something else. And so I really like designing my house. I'm almost worried about what's going to happen once my house is done because it's like I'm not going to have that project. And we've always been in a project. Before the house that we built, we remodeled a house and then we built our second house and then now we're remodeling another house and I'm like, oh, please like me when we're done.
If you can get through the project and still like
Yeah.
each other, then
Yeah.
I think that you're good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's
It's during
hope.
those, home renovations and things like that are usually the breaking point for most people.
And I told him, I said, because we just laid a massive patio, massive.
In the back? I saw your grass on the side.
You should
Looks
come.
good.
You
Yes.
should come by. But I had to pick up and move hundreds of 1 foot by 1 foot pavers, and I'm just sitting here doing this over and over. And yesterday I got up and had extreme bitch face on.
Sure
and
couldn't move.
I just
You were
learned.
right.
I just learned what is
RBF.
RBF?
I was
you
like-
explained that term?
She was like,
Yes.
I just taught that. I was like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I had to teach Willem what RBF was. But anyway, I get up and Jordan's like, oh my gosh, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't like getting up and down a million times. Like, what do you mean what's wrong? I would rather have another kid than be doing this kind of labor right
This
now.
is not my jam.
So I'm finally at the point where I'm like, okay, enough of the DIY. I will pay to have stuff done. If we can't afford it, then I will save up for it.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
done.
happening.
Yeah. One day because I know how he is and I know he wants to do everything on his own. And I noticed that he was not going into our middle bathroom at all. So I decided to have it gutted. And so my friend, he has a construction company and he sent a crew over.
You didn't tell
And
him? You didn't tell Jordan?
No. I had them gut the bathroom and it was weighing on me for a bit, and I just was waiting for the day that he would go into that bathroom and be like, what?
So he still didn't even know.
No, he didn't know. Like, I had to tell him. I had to say, hey, I did something that I feel like I should tell you about. And I showed him, and he was like, it was very confusing because he was laughing, but he was so mad.
He was mad.
Yes, he was so mad.
Was he more mad because he's like, okay, now I have to do something about it?
Probably,
kind of thing?
probably. Like, it was exposed to our attic.
Oh my gosh.
But I was like, it's a beautiful, like, blank canvas.
Yeah,
aren't
here
you
you
ready?
go.
Like,
I took care of the hard part.
Yeah.
Now let's get creative.
So I learned my lesson that I'm not going to do that anymore, because that reaction was one that I've never seen before.
You're
like
like-
the laughter and the anger in one. I was like, what's wrong? Like, I don't get it. I can't read
How long before he realized?
it. Oh, it was pretty quick. It was within the same week.
Okay. But it's funny that it wasn't immediate, like
Yeah.
that he did not know.
Yes.
I guess that helps that he's not home
Yeah.
for stretches of time,
Yeah.
right? Like he
Yeah.
has to live at the station or whatever. Dude, aren't you always like curious about couples who work together
Yeah.
and live together? Like I have several friends who do that, and it's just like, I kind of think I might kill you.
Yeah. No.
If that.
I adore him
Yes.
so much, but it's
But there's
funny.
limits, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I love working with like
Yeah.
you
But
could do it.
Yeah.
You could do it like all the
Ours
time.
is
you
more
think?
like, because in the summer I feel like it's like, oh, it's just so like,
Yeah.
because we get up, we study together, we ask questions, but we also, like, even when we're in the same house, sometimes it's like, I forgot you were over there, you know, like,
But do you think
because we
that-
do our own thing too,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
So-
but that sounds more like relaxing stuff. Do you feel like, I mean, are you working, like doing a business together?
I mean, the photography stuff, I
Right,
always
right.
go with him for that
Yeah.
stuff. And I love
Yeah.
being able to do that. But the editing, I don't help him with that at all.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, other than he'll be like, come look at this. Which
Yeah.
one do you like better? I'm like, I can't tell. I can't tell the
I
difference.
just feel like we have a hard enough time, like coming up with a grocery list every week. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what do you want to eat? Well, I don't know. What do you want to eat?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Does this sound good? Well, I don't know. You know, what do the kids want? You know, it's like this
Oh, yeah.
collaborative thing that turns into this like thing that we dread every week because we're just like, and so we've gotten better. We have like strategies now, and it has been, you know, we've implemented some things that have made it a little bit more fun, like using some recipe apps and things like that. Because otherwise it was just this like big daunting thing to try to figure out, because we don't eat out really,
Yeah.
or we try not to. And it's like, okay, like literally coming up with something to eat
Meal
every
plan,
single
yeah.
meal. During the week, I should say. We try
Yeah.
not to eat out during the week. We eat out on the weekends.
We
But-
eat out
we wait
sometimes
way too much.
Sometimes 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad.
And so, and it's because it's easy, right?
Yeah. Well, because that's the thing that I don't think he gets is I'm right there with you doing these projects. I just helped him lay a ton of sod.
Yeah.
Like, I'm there.
You're tired.
You're taking me on a date.
Yeah, we're going out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, it will not involve a tip. But you know.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, that's like my number one daunting question of the day is like, what are we gonna have for dinner? And I'm like, what'd you say to me?
Yeah, no, I know exactly, and that's, I think, and it does become that, and so all those adulting
so
things.
worth it to know that, though, because like we look at our just your bank statement every month, and he's like, oh, we eat out. It's so embarrassing. Like, if anyone ever saw her, you know,
Yeah.
how many times we eat out.
See, and
Taco
I'm-
Villa, you know.
I make a date out of ours. So it is more of a date than
Right.
like a quick bite. Like,
Right,
I
you're
want to
not just
enjoy
grabbing
it.
fast food.
I've gotten into the mindset, which is pretty dangerous, that I'm okay with 75% of my money going
To food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and going to these
keeping
dates
me-
and stuff
keeping
because
me-
it's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I want to do a podcast. It's because I get to have a coffee date
Yeah.
with you guys.
Exactly. We
You
get to
know?
like set it up,
I
and
know.
I love that, and I love that. You know, if you're that's what you enjoy and that's what you're, I like eating out. And so it's like, but it's
Which
like
Amarillo has some good
They have
food.
really good
Yeah.
restaurants. And so I'm like, we are going to eat out, then it needs to be something
Special.
different. You know what I mean? Like we want to try to because there's so many great stuff that we kind of get around, we go to the same places.
Yeah.
So we've tried to venture out and explore things a little bit more.
Yeah.
And, just be a little bit.
I've never tried Indian food.
What?
Can we go together?
Yes, we do.
We should.
We do.
Yes.
I've never tried it.
Okay.
I've wanted to.
Well,
Where
it
would
is
you
good.
go?
Well, I love Punjabi Affair,
let's
but
go to Punjabi.
I do love them. But we actually went to that new place over where Brent's used to be,
yeah.
and it is good.
I heard.
Mm-hmm.
I heard
It's
it was
really
pretty
good. So either of those are great.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Indian Oven too. So
Yeah.
there's probably other ones that I don't know
That's the
about.
only one I knew about.
Oh, Indian Oven's the only one? So you haven't even been to Punjabi.
I feel like you and Tanner would
I
live there.
cannot believe that.
Yeah.
I can't believe Catherine's there.
Yeah, that's like
they're
her,
like
even if I go visit her house,
I know.
she's got
She has
Punjabi
it. I
at
know.
her house. Like,
That's so
yeah.
true. Yeah, I'm shocked.
never.
Okay, well we got to remedy that
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
I was super intrigued by a lot of what Alexis was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I myself feel as though I am in perimenopause, so
Okay.
I'm
Me too.
right. Everybody's doing it. So,
Because of what? What's happening that makes you think that?
oh, yeah, just hormone things. I think hormones are attached to everything. Like it all comes back to hormones all the time. And so I don't know enough about it to articulate that in any form or fashion, but I do believe it.
Yeah.
And
I think
so,
you're right, though.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
It
As far
all
as things
connected.
being connected. Yeah. Mine is that I get hot flashes
Yeah,
out
girl.
of freaking nowhere,
I'm
man.
hot right now.
No, like
That's probably
the last time I went to San Antonio for work, I was in the airport coming home, and was I in San Antonio or the Dallas? No, I was in San Antonio, and I was just standing there waiting at the gate because it was full. There was nowhere to sit. It was so busy. It was so crowded. It was so packed, and I just broke out into a sweat. Like I was dying,
The
and it's so
worst.
humid there
Yeah.
anyway, and I just felt like there was no air
Couldn't
circulating
breathe.
in
Yeah.
the airport, and I was like,
And this was a different feeling than being just hot
yes.
on a summer day.
Yes.
Okay.
Like it was uncontrollable. Like I knew it wasn't hot in the airport.
Uh-huh.
You know, I could tell it wasn't hot, but I was just sweating my butt off. And then there are times whenever I wake up, but I also kind of think it's my pillows. Sometimes I wake up, yeah, but it's just my neck.
Oh,
So I think it's my
sweats.
pillows.
Got them night neck sweats.
The NNS night neck sweats. That's hard to
Classic.
say.
I'm not going to try it again because I nailed it that first.
Yeah, you'll mess it up.
I do get some night sweats, it seems like. And we already keep our house cold because I'm already hot natured. And so
Same.
Yeah.
Blake can't tell, but I'm still just walking around like, oh my gosh, it's so hot.
Yeah.
And I am also naturally kind of flushed all the time, very rosy, if you will. But there will be times lately where we're just casually talking to somebody or something, like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Your face just turned red.
Like, can you
Like,
shut
"Oh,
up?
I'm fine. Don't point it out.
Yeah, that makes it worse.
Okay, now I'm embarrassed. Anyway, it's so silly.
Man, I thought that was crazy that she has people come into her office, younger women, and they're like, my libido's low. And she's like, well, let's start with,
Your partner.
is your partner nice to you?
Yeah.
Sure.
That blew my mind.
Yeah, man. Subconscious, like what you're dealing with is how you're going to react. And I love the idea that there's a space in which that is the question instead of, have you tried these vitamins?
Right.
Here's some pills.
Yep.
Like,
Like-
that's too easy. For
And
sure.
that we would want to go fix ourselves before even asking ourselves that question.
Right. That's true too.
So weird.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Because you would think instead of, are you safe? You think, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's backwards.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, the fact that and I'm sure, like you said, subconscious. Like, I'm sure there are plenty of women out there who are just like, I don't know, I just don't have a sex drive. Like, that's just it. Because they don't even realize themselves that maybe they're not even attracted to their partner.
Yeah.
You know, like they think they are. Or because they're, you know, and if you're not attracted to your partner, then you don't ever get turned on. Therefore, you don't have a libido. And,
Or even like self-confidence.
yeah,
Like
totally.
your partner might be incredible, but if you don't feel good about yourself,
Yep. You
which
don't
is
want to be
easy to do as a woman. So it's
often
really interesting.
happens.
It's insane. What about you? What'd you take from it?
Kind of that, but it's functional medicine, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's where my longtime doctor went to do that type of
Care.
doctoring.
Get it?
Because I just remember him saying something about it, but also, and I don't know where Alexis works. I don't know if I caught that, but where he works, you have to pay like a membership fee.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, and it's like pretty expensive, but you go however many times you need to because they do kind of get to the root of the problem. You know,
Yeah.
they don't just pump you full of medicine or, you know, try this or try, like they kind of dig deep like she was talking about.
Yeah.
Is it like they offer like therapy type stuff too? I wonder.
I think they refer, yeah, for sure. But I stopped going to them because they can't afford it.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
it's like that expensive.
Yeah.
And it's a monthly thing?
Is it not covered by insurance probably? I feel like anything that kind of bends more towards that approach in general.
Yeah, if it's like
If
any
you even hint
type
at
of
holistic
that's
or
what I was going to say. If
whatever,
it's any
yeah.
type of holistic, then yeah, it's very rarely. I honestly don't know. I just I only had insurance for a very short period of time, so I had already started going to a different doctor by that point, and so
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just got a lot of. I feel like she was just like a women's advocate, like woman spokesperson.
Yeah.
In everything that she talked about.
Yeah, she very much is.
Yeah.
She was at some parade recently, and I was
Nice.
like, yeah, I was at home. Go you.
Get it.
Yeah. And then I didn't even think about birth control and being
Right.
on birth control that long.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends my age that I'm not sure. I don't know if they've had children or I how do I say this? Jordan warned me about this.
What? Like, don't bring it up. Don't talk about
actually,
it.
yes. I'm just very curious on if that has anything to do with the women who I've kind of grown up with over the past, 5 or 6 years that can't get pregnant.
Right.
So I am 36, and a lot of people are waiting now to get married and have kids. And
Right.
I mean, I know the day it happened with my kid.
Yeah.
And I know that because the next morning, I thought morning sickness meant the day after you get pregnant, you're going to be sick. That's how often I was spoke to as a child. And I thought that I was going to get sick. So the morning after, I was not sick. And I said, Jordan, I changed my mind. Let's wait. Let's live it up for a little bit longer. So, yeah.
Sabotage.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
9 months later.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Not only that, if that's why they don't have kids, but going back to hormones, I was on birth control from the time I was like 17 or something till my early 20s, right before I had Gavin, or right before I got pregnant with Gavin. And I was on the pill. And then after I had him, I was like, no more. Because after I got off of it, I mean, yes, I was very hormonal during pregnancy. But then, like a year after having him, I noticed that I wasn't as crazy, And I realized
like
that
a dog, like they settle down after they have a litter of puppies.
That's exactly what it is.
Well, I I thought it was because it messes with your hormones. And so I was like, yeah, never again. So I just wasn't on birth control for a very long time. And then I got an IUD, the copper IUD, which is hormone free.
Nice.
I mean, I'm still crazy, but not at the
was
level
it
that.
actually copper or?
Yeah.
Whoa. I don't know enough about
And mine-
these IUDs.
The one that I have lasts 10 years, so I don't have to get it out for another 3 years.
Man,
Yeah.
it is crazy the lengths we go through. And I mean, not even having a clue really what could happen or how it'll affect you 20 years later, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
that's a long time.
And she was talking about how, typically in a perfect world, young adults and teens are not having sex.
Sure.
So by the time that you're married or starting to think about having children, it's typically around 25-ish, probably earlier for us in Amarillo. Like,
Right.
I feel like we were like trained to have kids.
It's time.
I remember the actual conversation.
Oh my gosh.
We've been married 3 years. Does that mean we're supposed to have kids now?
Wow.
It's time.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. And
Conditioned to think that.
Yes, it's crazy. But just so if you think about it, from 20 or 25 to 35 is when most people should, that's like an ideal time to have children. And that's 15 years of
Will they? Won't
time to be
they?
fertile
Yeah.
and then the rest of your life like we put so much thought on those 15 years.
Yeah. That moment in your life, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much thought and pressure. Yeah.
So Ryan Reynolds.
I think we all kind of saw that fizzing out pretty fast.
And that reminds me, like, freaking Linsey is so funny, and she didn't really get to talk much. So
Yeah.
which she's just not that person to be like, hey.
Yeah.
Sure.
So anyway, we'll have to have her on another time.
Yeah, it was interesting. I'm glad they got a moment to be on the show and talk about just normal things, like when she was mentioning about dealing with worry and stress, and like it's just so relatable, and it's
And, like, her-
validating to hear that it can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So,
And she was talking about that because of her. I asked her if she's an up and down person. Are you very emotionally?
oh man, I'm so thankful for Blake because he is constant, whereas I am not.
Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, I think the older I get, the more leveled out a little bit, but it's all self-inflicted. Like, I either overcommit myself or get bored or vice versa, and it just like builds on itself until I like get really hyper-focused on something, and then I neglect all my responsibilities for 2 weeks to a month to a couple of years, and it's fine. And so whenever I snap back into, I have to go the other direction and like get organized and clean up messes and things like that. And I desperately wish those things could like live together, but they don't.
Right.
Yeah. Same.
So
I like to think that I'm like very even kill and like just chill, and
sure,
because I used to be the girl that was just like down for whatever.
Yeah,
like I would
along for
so
the
laid
ride.
back. Yeah. Like whatever. It's fine. It's cool. And the older I got, the more anxious I got. And then that spiraled into even more anxiety, because then I was like anxious about being anxious.
Sure.
Because why
As you
not?
do.
You
Right,
know?
right.
Yeah. And then, but yeah, the older I've gotten,
Yeah.
the more I recognize that. And I see myself, like I'm actually able to kind of step outside for a second and look and think like, okay, you're going way too far
Sure.
about this situation.
Sure.
So, so that's nice in getting older. But yeah, I'm not as chill as I thought I was.
Yeah. I think you're as chill as you think. Like, I feel like you're very chill.
There you go.
For
So
sure.
just chill out.
Probably the
about
only
it.
person
Just
to
chill
trust.
out about being chill. Okay.
Just relax already.
No. Yeah, and me. I'm like, what part of the roller coaster are we on right now? I was very surprised when she was like, "Oh, you're just an artist," and I was like, "I really thought you were gonna say bipolar," because so we were at a book club. One of the many things that I have started and not. Were you there at the book club thing?
Maybe.
Probably. I don't think you were. Were you?
I don't know.
Okay, no, it was here, and
Oh, then no.
Yeah. So I wanted to do a book club just to get together with everyone, and so we had one little session,
one book,
and I was like, "So, like, what? How far did y'all get?" And they're like, "We read the whole thing," and I'm like, "Just tell me about it." I read like a chapter. Yeah, but. We were sitting there, and I was just talking about who knows what, and she goes, do you take medication?
You special.
She could spot it.
Yeah. She goes, do you, have you been diagnosed by a medical professional for your ADHD? And I'm like, no, should I be? And she's like, yes.
Did you say, did you just diagnose me? Does that count?
No, but I've been saying it since, waiting for her to diagnose everything.
Yeah, I did hear you say in the podcast, wait, she's about to diagnose me.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But,
That's funny.
So
That's hilarious.
that's so funny.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna hit you.
Oh, do your. I did not mean the snort. I meant the other thing where you went. You can do it.
That's hilarious.
No, you did. That was funny.
I'm getting hot.
I know. Dang it.
Menopause.
I don't know if I'm there yet or this was my moment because I'm very sweaty right now. But, sorry. Y'all were just like,
Because we were laughing. We were just laughing so hard. We had to take a break.
okay, cool.
Call it.
Did we press record?
Oh.